What's up everybody, Couchmills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video, we actually get an insight to a lot of the devs' work on many different things that are plaguing Valorant right now. And we get some great insight into AFKs, gameplay toxicity, smurfs or secondary accounts, and matchmaking / match fairness, where we're gonna break it all down. But go to the GameLeap website right now if you want to climb and you've been struggling, you want to improve, you want to get to the next level and climb to Immortal and beyond incredibly easily. You gotta go check out our in-depth breakdowns, VOD reviews, strategic guides, and much more on the GameLeap website. So go check it out right now down below. Now, first, we're going to break down the introduction to the series. They made an article where they had multiple teams together, specifically the social and player dynamics team that works with things like friend system, text and voice chat, and monitoring player behavior like toxicity. And also, they have the competitive team, which is competitive systems, MMR, and matchmaking. And they're coming together not only to clarify everything that they've already done, but their plans for the future as well. Now, in general, for the future, they're gonna be way more transparent about the competitive and social player dynamics. And we really get a big roadmap about the big problems with each category, as well as the solutions. And these 5 categories are AFKs, gameplay toxicity, text and voice chat toxicity, smurfs or secondary accounts, and matchmaking / match fairness. And this first article that came out is about AFKs. So basically, they start off this article defining AFK as just people that leave or don't participate in an ongoing game, and they say that every single multiplayer game has some amount of an issue with AFKs, and Valorant is not an exception, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to put things in place that discourage that behavior. They go on to further say, in quote, an AFK in a game compromises the competitive integrity of the match, and as a result, downgrades general enjoyment of the game, which is definitely true. It's really freaking tilting if you have an AFK on your team, so they're trying to do everything they can to dissuade that, and that's the big thing of the social and player dynamics team. How do they make the amount of AFKs that happen in games as little as possible? Now, while they want to make actionable things that punish AFKs and prevent people from doing it, they also want to make a few things true. They don't want people to get punished for unlucky games, stating, sometimes your cat accidentally kicks the power cord out, or your stepsister bursts into your room. Whatever situation, they want to make sure that they don't punish you for these very rare, unfortunate or fortunate situations that you cannot control. They also want to make sure that there's a scalable way to detect AFKs that avoid false positives. They don't want someone to be holding an angle for a very long time, and then because they're holding it too long, they get flagged as AFK, right? So they want to make sure that their systems don't false positive people. And then the last thing they want to make sure of is they want to make sure that there are clear signals that we can measure to see if our efforts are successful. Without these benchmarks, it would be hard for us to know whether our work actually made a difference or if you're still encountering the same amount of AFKs. Now, these are what they actually sought out to do or make sure didn't happen, and now they answer the question what they've done so far. Now, March of this year, they released a system that helped them find AFKs, but it was a very simple system. However, it still covered a lot of the AFKs, from people's internet that went down to people that just rage quitted out of the game and everything in between. It basically detected these people. However, they felt that that was just not enough and there was a lot more room to improve. They essentially don't want to punish the anomalies, but rather the repeat offenders, but they also didn't actually deal with the worst kind of AFKs, according to them, which is, quote, the potentially more malicious AFKs, people who intentionally do not participate in the game, but stay active in the game as to not get disconnected. And I know for a fact many of you have experienced this type of person. They get tilted, you say one thing wrong to them, or they just get mad because people don't do exactly what they say, and then they throw the game, they're running around, they're not actually trying to win, right? Which is just completely ridiculous. Now, they acknowledge that this is the worst kind of AFKer, and it's something that they really need to create a better system if they want to catch them and punish them very often. Now, to address these situations, they put trackers to look for specific behaviors and metrics in-game that can then tie that to an AFKer. Now, they're not going to give us the specific detail about what those track because they want to make sure that people that actually want to throw, they don't throw in a way that gets around what the AFK system is detecting. But keep in mind that there is a system in place, they're adding more to it, and it's going to be able to detect AFKers when they're doing things like trolling around, running, inting in, running around with a shorty, whatever the case may be. Now, ultimately, the big goal in mind is to make it so that the process is heavily scalable. Basically, whenever a new behavior method is added or a new way or a new habit that throwers incorporate, they could add it into the system and then they could just basically get all the information about likely AFKers in the general scope of things. And then they can look in individually and find people that are repeat offenders and then punish them specifically. Now, on top of that, they're instituting an AFK rating per player that tracks your behavior across all your games. game. So if you're someone who barely ever goes AFK, you'll have a really good AFK rating, and if you ever accidentally AFK in a game, you're not going to be punished all that bad. You might receive a warning message, but nothing too big. Now, if you do it too much, not only is your AFK rating score going to become very low, but your punishments are going to progressively increase, from warnings to XP denial to queue restrictions, and eventually you're going to get banned from playing ranked altogether. And of course, they're going to send out multiple explanations, and yeah, that's basically what's going to happen if you keep doing this again and again. Now, they do talk about deathmatch, actually, where if you do it a lot in deathmatch, it can prevent you from earning XP. However, they're not going to make it so you just get banned from deathmatch, because you're not ruining the experience of teammates. However, if way too many people are trying to farm XP in deathmatch by entering a game and going AFK, they're trying to dissuade that. So do it too much and you're not going to be able to get XP, and then everyone can actually have a deathmatch with a full lobby rather than like 4 goddamn people. Now, to showcase what they've already accomplished, we can look at the global AFK rates over time right here, where for the most part it's gone down. There's a slight uptick recently. However, the overall trend is down, and there's no reason to not believe that it's going to continue to go down over time. Now, in order to make sure that their actual system is working correctly, they're corresponding that with the report rate, which has also gone dramatically down. However, they do acknowledge that there could be a certain amount of people that stop reporting because they don't believe that it's doing anything. However, overall, they can see a direct correlation between the global AFK rates going down and the report rate going down, which is good news to say the least. Now, that being said, while they're proud of everything that they have done so far, they do acknowledge that there's a lot more to be done. Stating, quote, "For one, we can continue to improve detection. Since we started working on AFKs, we broadened the different behaviors that qualify as an AFK in our system. As players got more, quote unquote, creative with how they AFK in games, so will our detection. The added bonus here is that a lot of the more clever AFK techniques tend to overlap with other unwanted behaviors in our game, such as intentionally feeding, griefing, or automated bot account farming. More on this in another article." They also continue stating, quote, "Second, we can keep you informed. Sharing both the process and results of our work to improve Valorant's community is an outlook to which we are committed. It's something that you have told us you want. It's one of the reasons we wanted to write these articles in the first place. As we move ahead, we'll continue to keep you posted on the state of the game, whether it's to be on the state of further reducing AFKs or detection and acting on some other behaviors. What we ask in return is that you continue to provide questions, thoughts, feedback on what you want to see to make Valorant feel more safe and a more fun place to be." Now, all in all, I really love the transparency here. It really seems that the overall AFK rate has gone down, and for the most part, I can attest that that's probably the case. But you got to keep in mind that there's always going to be a percentage of people that for the most part they don't throw, but if you say something really bad to them, or they're playing really bad, or someone tilts them on their team, or for whatever reason they throw, right? They get tilted, they rage quit, they AFK, whatever. And these people might not do it all that often. They might do it like once every 10 games, once every 20 games, 30 games. So they're not going to get penalized all that much. So in general, it's just important to try to keep people's morale up in your game and keep everyone happy and not be a toxic asshole. I think that's going to just make it so you have a lot less AFKs in general. But ever let me know how AFKs have been in your games. Have you felt them going up or decrease over time? Do you think that a lot of the AFK rates going down is actually just people getting around the system, or have you actually felt a substantial decrease? Let me know down below. And of course, I'm going to be covering every single one of these articles as they drop, so make sure you smash the like, subscribe so you don't miss out on all the developer updates. But go to the GameLeap website right now if you want to improve, if you want to climb, get that pro mentality and breaking down pro meta strategies and different tips and tricks that you can incorporate to get the leg up on your competitors. You got to go check it out right now down below.